Single grain. 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 Let's drink some whiskey. Welcome to Whiskey and Whisky. I'm the Whiskey Chaser Brian, and we're back in Christy's bar, Kilkenny, after our little road trip on the last show, which was epic. Hope you're keeping fantastic. Okay, so I'm not sure could you tell at the start of the video, but today we are talking single grain and limited edition. So limited edition single grain Irish whiskey. Now, you know how I feel about single grain, but I think you should check this out. This is the FERCULLEN limited edition single grain Amarone finished Irish whiskey. The first in the all new and exclusive Estate Series trilogy, aptly named the Millhouse. Now, it has been quite a while since we had some single grain whiskey on the show. The last single grain we did was the O'Connell 10-year-old, which was part of the Bourbon and Rye series, if I remember correctly, which of course was epic. And way back before that, a double whammy from two very special releases from James J. Fox's Whiskey and Cigar Shop. One of those releases being, if my memory recalls correctly, a 13-year-old single grain Irish whiskey, which I still regard to this day as an incredibly delicious and under the radar type of whiskey. Now, you can of course find both links to those videos in the description box below for your viewing pleasure. Check them out. So when I saw this little guy sneak into the bar, I knew, first off, this had to be tasted. And it did sneak into the bar. I got no heads up that it was being released. I got no emails, no press releases. It was just kind of there on the counter one day. So why not try it? Now, what's interesting about this release is it's finishing in Amarone cask for a period of 18 months. And to the best of my recollection, Jesus, I have not ever tried anything finished in Amarone casks. That's whiskey. Amarone wine itself comes from the Valpolicella province of Verona, Italy, and it's typically a dry red wine made up of roughly 3 different grape varieties. And when it's translated from Italian to English, Amarone literally means the grape bitter. Now, this wine is generally speaking and not law bound, but has an age of about 5 years or so, and produces a very ripe, rainy, full-bodied wine. Raisiny, full-bodied wine, not rainy, which makes it perfect for whiskey maturation. Now, there are 1 or 2 scotches that have used Amarone to finish their whiskey, but I haven't come across any other Irish ones to date yet. I thought maybe Teeling Whiskey Company did, but no, not that I could find anyway. If you do know of any, leave them in a link down below and I'll do some research on it. Thank you. This whiskey comprises of grain whiskies produced in 2010, 11, and 12 by Powers Court's master distiller and master blender Noel Sweeney. Now, I know what you might be thinking to yourself, that the Powers Court distillery didn't begin distilling itself until 2018, so you can figure out for yourself just where this whiskey came from initially. But rest assured, it was distilled and blended by Noel Sweeney himself. This is the first in the Estate series and is named to give a nod of respect to their brand home, the near 300-year-old mill house built from Wicklow granite and distillery building's historical anchor. The water-powered mill house was repurposed to become home to the distillery's visitor centre, complete with the original turbine built by Craig & Sons in Belfast, which is still intact. The spring water coming from the nearby waterfall, which once drove the turbine, is now used to create some of the award-winning whiskeys that the brand brings out. Just a heads up, but keep an eye on the channel and make sure you're subscribed, because very shortly I'm going to be taking a little road trip to the distillery itself. Don't forget to click that link and subscribe, turn on the notifications bell. If you got time, give us an old thumbs up, or 2. This whiskey itself is a combination of grain whiskies, like I said, produced in 2010, 11, and 12, made up of corn and malt, initially matured in first fill ex-bourbon barrels and finished in Amarone casks, nearly forgot what I was talking about there, for 18 months. Non-chill filtered, all natural coloring, and an ABV of 46%. Retailing for about the 75 to 80 euro-ish, and there is a very limited bottle run number of these, or bottle run in general, 2021, and this is bottle number 406. You know what we're gonna do next? And we pour. While I'm giving that a chance to breathe, and you have this bottle, check out the FERCULLEN timeline on the side of the box here. It's pretty cool, good reading, as well as the back. I've given a little bit of a chance for this to open up a small bit, let it sit there and nose it, we'll taste it, do what the chaser does best, trying to come up with tasting notes. So on the nose, delicate, first off and foremost. As you would find with a lot of single grain whiskeys, you have your honey, but what stands out the most to me is one of two things. Spice, which there is a ton of. And I know this sounds weird, but it actually smells like a grape skin kind of tastes, if that makes sense. That's prominent to me. It's a little bit of that kind of nose to it. Not so much raisiny, as I said about the wine that goes into the Amarone casks. A little bit of the oak at the end from the bourbon barrels. You're getting kind of a fruity note to it. It's sweet, like, not a berry sweetness. There's a citrus note in there, but the sweetness is more along the lines of, would say, a peach, or maybe even a pineapple. Not bad, like I said, a little delicate, not overly complex, but you can still pull out a few of the notes there. Let's have a little sip, so sláinte. That's lovely and easy drink. The spice doesn't come through. What I'm getting is a load of sweetness. Very fruit notes, fruit forward notes, and a mix of fruits. That is, I think that's better on the palate than it is on the nose, personally, because the fruity notes and the fruit coating over the mouth, along with a bit of honey, really kind of doesn't come through on the nose. Now you have that fruit note, but like I said, with the grape on the nose, on the palate, a little bit of oak as well. That is, I like it on the palate, not so much on the nose. One more, sláinte. Way more fruit forward, like a ton of different fruit sweetness, you know, your honey. It is easy drink, which is kind of, when you get all the spice on the nose, you're thinking this is a spice bomb. Now, the spice is there, but it's not as maybe in your face as the nose would suggest. There's a perfect example. The finish then, still there. The warmth developing in the back of the throat. Lovely kind of texture to it. Lovely, I don't want to say smooth, but very kind of, it's not thin. It's nice and kind of heavy and thick, if that makes sense. The sweetness is there still have the finish. Yeah, you know, a little bit on the dry side finish. The finish and the palate are a little more complex than the nose would suggest. That's just my opinion. So yeah, I might just finish this off then. Why not? Now, I don't know, did I mention it, but this is issue number 1 of 3. So I did say something about a trilogy, actually. Yeah, the first in 3 of the estate series to come to the market. So keep an eye out on this, stand by. So do I like this whiskey? Yes, I do like it. It has the nice sweetness combined with the lovely fruity vibes, which I like. It would benefit a touch from leaving it sit down for a while and let it open and air out. I do think that the palate and the finish are nicer and give more to it than just the nose would suggest. It's one of those ones that when you try it and you drink it, you're going, oh, I'm pleasantly surprised. But the nose lets it down a touch, I think, which is, you know, it's what happens. It's nice to see that. And it's not a caveat, but the lovely flavor notes from it and finish note is gorgeous. So yeah, the nose, not so much, but the rest, Yeah, pretty good. So all in all, a lovely little single grain whiskey that single grain fans, I think, will be delighted with, regardless of the nose. But nice, simple, elegant, little bit of complexity on the finish and the palate. Let me know if you've drank it. Actually, put some of your tasting notes down below. What did you think? Did you get the same kind of notes that I did? Let me know. As always, all thoughts are my own. This bottle here was presented to me by the pub, so shout out to the lads here for that. But yes, all thoughts and opinions are my own. It is here in the bar. Now, I'm gonna keep this video short and sweet today. That's basically it. I'm done. Chaser is signing off. I will see you all the next time on Whiskey and Whiskey. Sláinte.